guys? This is Fantasy Nuts. My name's Luke Evans. This is my Sunday start sits. So if you guys like the content, smash the like, smash the subscribe, and hit the comments below. If you guys have any questions for me, hit my Twitter up at fantasy_nuts, and I'll get at you. All right, guys, let's get into the games. Let's talk about who's going to win and start sits. First game we're talking about here, Pittsburgh versus Chargers. This is a game where you're going to start a lot of people, I feel like. Pittsburgh, I feel like, could come away with this win the way the Chargers have been playing, but I'm going to pick the Chargers in this one. I think they squeak it out. I got Najee Harris starting here. Obviously, he gets so much production and so many carries and so many looks that it's just he's going to be the guy you play. Deontay Johnson, same way. We hope Big Ben plays because he's more efficient than Mason Rudolph, but Deontay Johnson's obviously a every week start. Pat Friermuth, I do like him in this week too, especially if Big Ben plays. That's how you kind of beat the Chargers D. They got a good D, but they don't do well against tight ends. Austin Ekler, another guy that could have a good game. Chargers D against the run, not the best. Keenan Allen, I think he's obviously going to be the guy that gets the production. I like him a little more than Mike Williams, especially lately. He's been more reliable than Mike Williams has been, even though Mike Williams started hot. He's been really up and down lately. So I'm going Keenan Allen. Justin Herbert, I think he's a good start this week, especially the way Pittsburgh D is. They're pretty banged up. I think he's a good start. I'm starting a few people like Jalen Hurts. I'm even starting two over him because of the matchup and the way he's been playing. So if you got somebody better, you can stick him in there, but I think he's still a good play if that's what you got. Who I'm sitting, Chase Claypool, Big Ben Roethlisberger if he does play, Mike Williams, and Jared Cook. These guys, you know, Claypool hasn't been consistent. Cook hasn't been consistent. Williams not consistent. Big Ben's just not looking like Big Ben of old. So these are the players I'm going to be sitting this week. Going on to the next game, Niners versus the Jags. This is going to be a Niners win all the way. I think Niners come away with this fairly easy. The people I'm starting, we're going to go Elijah Mitchell first. The guy was like 9 yards away from 100 yards last week on 20 carries. He's getting the production. He's getting the usage. You like that 49ers run offense. I think Elijah Mitchell's a good start. Deebo Samuel looks like he's going to be healthy. He's going to be in the game. It's the guy you're going to start. He's top-notch every week. He's been super consistent. George Kittle looks like the George Kittle of old lately, so I think George Kittle's a great start also this week. James Robinson, he's about the only bright spot in the Jaguars offense if he plays, but I like James Robinson a lot. You're sitting Trevor Lawrence, Marvin Jones, Brandon Aiyuk, and Dan Arnold. Dan Arnold's been all right, but this 49ers D is pretty legit, and I don't expect them to do much. If they do, it's going to be through the ground, I think. Next game here, we're talking Texans versus Titans. I think the Titans pull away with this obviously pretty easily. Texans haven't been very good this year, obviously 1-8. People you're starting for Texans, Brandon Cooks. That's about it. You're starting Brandon Cooks. That's the only player you're starting this week for the Texans. It's the only player you're starting every week for the Texans. On the other side, A.J Brown, Tannehill, and Peterson. A.J Brown he's too talented to sit. Tannehill probably going to have a decent week against this bad defense. And Adrian Peterson has an opportunity to have a good week too. I think he gets in the end zone. I'm sitting Tyrod Taylor and David Johnson, obviously, on the other side of the ball. It's pretty self-explanatory there. Moving on to the next game, we got Packers versus Vikings. This is always actually a really good game. You might be surprised. I think actually the Vikings could upset the Packers in this. I'm going to pick the Vikings to upset the Packers. Yeah, I'm going to go Vikings beat the Packers and a close win, maybe by 3 points. You want a lot of this game. I think it's going to be high scoring. So people I'm starting, Aaron Rodgers, obviously, just a stud. Devontae Adams, obviously, again, just a stud. A.J. Dillon, he's been looking really good since Aaron Jones got hurt. And even when he wasn't hurt, he was really, really good anyway. So he's a great start, too. Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. Now, I think one of these guys probably has a mediocre game and one has a great game. Which one it's going to be, hard to tell, so you play them both. Dalvin Cook's going to have a great game. He's just too talented. And I like Tyler Conklin. I think he's going to have an actually decent game too. He gets downfield. They get him involved, and when they do, he usually gets like 20-yard catch, 40-yard catches. So he could even get in the end zone, have a big game. People I'm actually sitting Kirk Cousins. I don't like Kirk Cousins this week, but I do like the points. So I think the points will be there. I just don't think the touchdown is going to be there. Robert Tonyan, I'm sitting him. I just don't think he's consistent enough and not involved enough. All right, next game, Ravens versus Bears. I'm going to go Ravens beat the Bears. This is just a pretty easy pick again. Ravens are just a better team. People were starting here. Lamar Jackson, obviously. Marquise Brown is going in there. Mark Andrews is getting in there. The only player you're starting on the Bears side is David Montgomery. We're happy to see him back. He should be a great start this week. Baltimore Ravens don't have a great defense, especially against the run. So this should be a good start for David Montgomery. People you're sitting, I'm sitting Justin Fields this week. I've seen some people saying you could start him this week. I wouldn't. Khalil Herbert, you're sitting him, in my opinion. David Montgomery's back, and he got like 90% of the work last week. So it's probably indicative of what we're going to see this week. Allen Robinson, you're sitting him. Sounds like he might even play. So if he does, you're sitting him. And Darryl Mooney, he could be a good play, good flex spot. So if you need him, you might plug him in there, but I'd still probably sit him. Next game here, Colts versus the Bills. I think the Bills come out with this one. The Bills haven't looked that great lately, but I think they're going to come out and they're going to win this game. Still going to be kind of lower scoring, I think. Not too low scoring, maybe under 40, 45 points. But I think that the Bills pull away like 21, 23, something like that. Starting, we're going to put in Carson Wentz. Obviously, he's been actually really consistent, looked really good with this offense. You're starting Jonathan Taylor. He's just too good. One of the best running backs in the league. Michael Pittman has been really good as a wide receiver. You're going to put him in every week. Josh Allen is obviously just a really good quarterback, and you're going to play him every week too, along with Stephon Diggs. And I love Dawson Knox as this play this week. I think I told people to sit Kyle Pitts in the Thursday night game and play somebody like Dawson Knox. And if you listen to me, I think you'll be happy. Sitting, we're going to go Emmanuel Sanders, Zach Moss, Cole Beasley, T.Y. Hilton, and Ali Cox. These are just all players that I just don't believe are going to get in the end zone. Cole Beasley has a chance, so if you put him in there as a flex, you might have a chance. Zach Moss, you might not have an option other than Zach Moss, and he's been pretty consistent. I just don't like him in this game. The Colts actually have a really good run defense. So, all right, next game, we're going Cowboys versus the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs win this game. I think they beat the Cowboys. I think this is where the Cowboys run into their first big hiccup here against a great team. But you want every part of this game. This can be a high-scoring game. It's going to be good for fantasy, I think. The only players I'm sitting are Hardman and Robinson for the Chiefs. Everybody else I'm playing: Prescott, Lamb, Schultz, Elliott, Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, and Williams. So, listen, Amari Cooper's out. CeeDee Lamb should have a great day. So we're happy to see that. Schultz is probably going to have a better day too. So if you, again, somebody like that had Kyle Pitts and Dalton Schultz, and you listen to me, sitting Pitts, playing Dalton Schultz, you're probably going to be super happy. Ezekiel Elliott's probably going to have a great game. Chiefs defense sucks. Patrick Mahomes is still going to have a good day. I think, obviously, the only person I think I'm a little bit worried about in this list is Tyreek Hill. He's going to go against Trayvon Diggs, and that's a scary matchup. But the one player that I've noticed this year to have a great game against Trayvon Diggs was DJ Moore. And he's a route-running speedster, which is kind of what Tyreek Hill is. I think Tyreek Hill has a good day against Trayvon Diggs because they're two different types of players. Trayvon Diggs is tall, lanky. He covers those Justin Jeffersons really well. I think he's gonna have a harder time against Tyreek Hill. And you're playing Kelsey, obviously, because Kelsey's Kelsey, and Darrell Williams should have a decent game, I think. All right, moving on to the next game, we're going Dolphins versus Jets. I think the Dolphins come away with this. Their defense has been looking a lot better. I think they're a great spot start this week as of defense, Dolphins. So if you're looking for a defense to play, Dolphins, 49ers, those are two good defenses this week. Anyways, Dolphins pull away with a win on this one. I think it's a pretty easy win. You're starting Tua. I think this is a great matchup for Tua. I'm starting him over Justin Herbert. I think it's such a good matchup, so I'm going Tua. Myles Gaskin. This is Myles Gaskin's good week. So he's been having great weeks every other week, double-digit fantasy points every other week, and this is that week for double-digit fantasy points. It's a great play for Myles Gaskin. James Waddle, he should be played, I think, especially if Tua's playing. He loves Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's a great wide receiver. Mike Gesicki, also a great wide receiver as a tight end. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league, even though he's a tight end, obviously. He's a great play. And the only player I'm really playing on the New York Jets side, because I do believe in this Dolphins defense, is Michael Carter. I think Michael Carter is just a good play every week from here on out for the rest of the year. They got a pretty decent matchup for the rest of the year even, so Michael Carter should be a great play every week from here on out. I'm sitting Corey Davis, Jamison Crowder, Elijah Moore, and Joe Flacco. I don't want any part of the Jets. I don't think anybody should have any part of the Jets offense besides Michael Carter. Sit everybody else. All right, moving on to the next game, we got New Orleans Saints versus Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to say the Eagles pull away a upset win on this one. And I'm going to call that an upset because the Saints have beat some teams like Tampa. So I think Philadelphia comes away with a good upset win here. Players I'm playing here, Jalen Hurts. I think this is a great start for Jalen Hurts. He's probably going to get you 20-plus fantasy points. He's been really consistent each week. He's only had 1 week this whole year under 20 fantasy points pretty much. So he's a great play. Dallas Goedert, I think, is another great play. He gets the ball. He targets Dallas Goedert a lot. He gets anywhere from 7 to 8 targets a game. Dallas Goedert, if he gets in the end zone, he's going to give you a huge game. Devontae Smith, I think, is a great play this week also. Devontae Smith is his favorite receiver. And, again, I think Jalen Hurts has a good game here, which I think leads to Devontae Smith having a good game. Mark Ingram, you're starting him because Alvin Kamara is out. So if Alvin Kamara's out, you're starting Mark Ingram. He's looked really good in that offense. Welcome back to the Saints, my man. You look really good. So, heck yeah, man, keep it rolling. Put Mark Ingram in. You should be happy. All right, who you sitting? Trevor Siemian, Traquan Smith, and Marquez Callaway. So, yeah. Put those guys on your bench. Just not consistent enough. I'm not playing those. I don't have trust in those guys, so they shouldn't be fantasy relevant. All right, last game we're talking about here is Washington Football Team versus Carolina Panthers. Listen, I think Washington actually upsets the Panthers in this because, again, another team that just came off a win off of Tampa Bay. I think that their defense is looking better. This could be a good actually spot start for the defense even. So, yeah, I like Washington in this, and I think they're going to come away with the win. Who you starting? Terry McLaurin, obviously. He's Terry Scary. Scary Terry is just too good. You're playing this guy each and every week. Antonio Gibson. I love Antonio Gibson, actually. I just traded away Antonio Gibson for Elijah Mitchell because I thought Gibson was going to be hurt. And what did he do last week? He looked healthy again. 2 touchdowns, 20-plus fantasy points. I think you continue to ride that wave, and hopefully he continues to stay healthy. If he doesn't, maybe you look to start trading him away. Christian McCaffrey, obviously you're playing him, too much of a stud. And DJ Moore, too talented of a wide receiver not to stick in your lineup. Who you sitting? I'm actually going to sit Taylor Heineke. I don't love the matchup. Carolina Panthers D is actually pretty decent. Cam Newton, I'm sitting him until I see what happens with him. I mean, if you have him on your bench, good for you. Maybe he turns out to be really good in this offense, but I'm not taking a chance unless I needed to. If I needed a win and I thought, man, this guy's upside is just so good, you might stick him in. Another guy like that is Robbie Anderson. I mean, last week he targeted Robbie Anderson quite a bit. got a touchdown last week from Cam. So, yeah, I think that either one of these guys could be good starts, but they're scary starts. So I'm sitting them just to be safe, but you might go out and play them if you need to. J.D. McKissic's another guy I'm actually sitting this week. I just think that Antonio Gibson looks really well. He ran over 50% of the routes last week. If that continues, J.D. McKissic's looking less and less involved in this offensive scheme. I don't know if I'm liking that so much, so I'm going to sit McKissic to see what happens this week. All right, guys, that actually wraps up my Sunday games. Week 11, fantasy football, start sits. Hey, man, it's getting closer and closer to fantasy football playoffs. So I hope you guys have your wins. I hope you guys are almost locked in. The next few weeks should determine that. So let's get our wins. Let's get ourselves locked into the playoffs. Let's get some trophies behind us at the end of the year. And, yeah. All right, man. You guys like the content. Smash the like. Smash the subscribe. Hit the content below. Hit me up on Twitter if you have any questions at @fantasy_nuts. My name is Luke Evans. Y'all stay fantasy nuts. I'm out.